Assalamualaikum and a very good day I bid to all of you. So my name is I Anis Nabila binti Tarmizi. Today I would like to represent my topic, which is the characterization method of the nanocomposite. So here is the content of this video. It consists of 5, which is the first one is the problem statement, the second one is the objective, and the third one is the introduction, discussion, and also conclusion and reference. Before I continue, I would like to emphasize of this topic, which is its content of the 4 methods to characterize the nanocomposite, which is the first one is the morphology. Morphology is to provide the image of the nanocomposite by using the XRD and the TEM. XRD is known as the X-ray diffraction and the TEM is the transmission electron microscopy. And the second one is the rheology, which can be determined the flow ability and the viscosity. And the third one is we use the mechanical, which can be determined the tensile, flexural, and impact of the nanocomposite. And the last one is we use the thermal, which can be determined by using DSC, which is the differential scanning calorimetry. DSC is used to measure the thermal stability. And the second one is the TGA, which is the thermogravimetric analysis, which is to know the decomposition temperature of the nanocomposite. So for the first one is the problem statement. So the shortage of the petroleum-based synthetic polymer and non-renewable resource. And it also the use of the polymeric materials such as PU, which is the polyurethane, PVC, polyvinyl chloride, and etc., which can create the environmental issue by producing the polluting carbon dioxide gas and also known as the toxic gases. And for the second is the objective. So the objective is the first one is to replace the petroleum-based synthetic polymer to biodegradable polymeric materials such as PLA. The PLA is known as the polylactic acid. And the second one is to study the incorporation of the clay, which is the HNT. It known as the halloysite nanotube. And HNT is incorporate into the PLA in making of the composite and the effect of the properties in the nanocomposite. And the third one is to study the characterization method of the polylactic acid, which is the PLA, with halloysite nanotube, which is the HNT nanocomposite. So the third one is the introduction. It consists of the background, PLA, the incorporation of the clay into the PLA in making of the composite, and also the method to characterize the PLA and HNT in the nanocomposite. So the halloysite nanotube, which is the HNT clay, and the biodegradable polylactic acid, which is the PLA nanocomposite, were fabricated by a melt bending method with 5 different clay levels, which is 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 weight percentage. So the effect of the HNT loading on the thermal and mechanical properties of the PLA HNT nanocomposite was examined by using the TGA and also the universal tensile testing, which is known as the mechanical testing. And the third one is the morphological characteristic were investigated by using the transmission electron microscopy, which is known as the TEM. And then the composite, it has the map rheological characteristic analysis, were conducted by using a rotational rheometer in both steady shear and oscillatory dynamic testing mode. So for the background, nowadays, researchers have been studies on the biodegradable polymeric materials such as cellulose, starch, polylactic acid, such as the PLA. So due to these studies to replace the polymeric materials such as the polyolefin, polystyrene, polyvinyl chloride, which is the PVC, and polyurethane PU that produce polluting the carbon dioxide gas and the toxic gases such as the HCl, HCN and nitrogen nitrogen oxide through the incineration. Although it is provide similar product if incinerated, biodegradable polymer could solve this environmental issue if biodegraded. Among the various biodegradable polymer, PLA is regarded as a good substitute for petroleum-based synthetic polymer. And the next is the characteristic of the PLA, which is the polylactic acid. It is excellent biodegradability, which offers a promising alternative to current hydrocarbon-based polymer. It also anonymous potential of the PLA-derived product for various engineering applications, which is include the electronic and electrical devices, transportation, mechanical component, and automotive part. However, pure PLA's natural characteristics are insufficient to meet many end users' demands. This is due to the material heat distortion temperature, gas barrier properties, impact strength, and flame retardant properties, which all require improvement prior to implementing PLA in industrial applications. So, the PLA has been modified to improve the physical characteristics such as impact modifier, plasticizer, and also both macro and nano filler. So the next is the incorporation of clay into PLA in making of the composite. The polymer clay nanocomposite will enhance the thermal stability, fire retardancy, anti-static electrical characteristics, and also anti-UV resistance. It also improves the stiffness, lower gas permeability, and also enhance the crystallization. It has been produced by mixing the PLA with diverse nanoscale reinforcing fillers such as the organoclay, nanographite, zinc oxide, cellulose, and carbon nanotube. The method using to produce the PLA clay nanocomposite is used by using the melt blending. It also stands out among these processes owing to its simplicity, lack of the organic solvent, and economic and industrial viability. So the filler used in making of the nanocomposite is the halloysite nanotube, which is HNT clay, because it poses a great advantage for the polymer clay nanocomposite. The HNT are easy, low price, sourcing compared to other nanoparticles such as carbon nanotubes. The structure also provides processing advantages as it discrete nanoparticles possess almost no surface change. In this study, PLA or HNT nanocomposite were prepared with the HNT composition varying from 1 to 9 weight percentage, which is fabricated via melt dispersion. So here is the method to characterize the PLA HNT nanocomposite, which is the first one is to use the morphology. As I mentioned before, the morphology is to provide the image of the nanocomposite. It used to characterize the dispersion of the HNT and in the PLA matrix. The morphology is used here by using the TEM, which is you can see in the image shown. The TEM used is the CM200, which is the Philip, the Netherlands. And the second one is the thermal stability, which is used to investigate the material's thermal decomposition temperature by using the TGA, which is the thermal gravimetric analysis, which is used the DA instrument Q50 USA, which can be shown in this picture. And the third one is the rheological characteristic, which can be analyzed by using the rotational rheometer, and you can see the device here in this picture. It also can determine the steady shear and auxiliary dynamic testing mode, and the temperature was held constant at 180 degrees Celsius during the rheological measurement. So the last one is the mechanical characteristic, which is examined by using a universal testing machine, which is the UTM, which can be seen on this picture under ASTM standards. So it has 5 measurements which is conducted for each specimen. And the fourth is the discussion. So for the morphological analysis, which is conducted by the TEM in figure 1, it provides image of the nanocomposite containing different percentage of the HNT. This is the figure 1 of the TEM of the PLA HNT. So the PLA HNT nanocomposite exhibit well dispersed particle at lower concentration, and some aggregate were observed at the higher loading, which can be seen at the picture D and E. So the PLA HNT nanocomposite show good dispersion of the HNT through melt mixing without any surface modification. Okay, the next is the thermal analysis, which could be seen the graph and the table of data of the PLA HNT nanocomposite in the nitrogen gas. So the TGA measurement of the PLA HNT nanocomposite were conducted in the nitrogen gas environment. The TGA curve, which can be seen in the figure 2, the curve with the various content of the additive loading change only can be seen is only the slightly change. And for the table 1, it could be seen that the temperature at 10% loss of the neat PLA was about 323 degrees Celsius. And the temperature at 10% weight loss decrease, which is slightly with the added of the HNT, which is the 319 degrees Celsius. So next is the mechanical testing, which can be seen in the figure 3, the tensile strength at the maximum load, which is decreasing with the increase of the HNT loading. The decreasing in tensile, which is due to the weak region in the matrix filler systems, in which loop in several polymer chains are close together instead of being entangled with one another. Next, the elongation break at the break of the PLA HNT nanocomposite is increased up to 5 weight percentage of the HNT content, which can be seen the blue line here. So and then it decreased with the further increase of the HNT. This result may caused by restriction of the movement of the polymer change, which comes from the large aspect ratio of the rigid HNT and the interaction between the HNT and the matrix. And for the last one is the rheology analysis. So you can see based on this figure, which is the flow curve test of the PLA HNT blend, shear viscosity at a constant temperature 180 degrees Celsius. So the initial shear viscosity increased with the increasing of the HNT content. The overall flow curve of the composite show a shear thinning behavior such that the shear viscosity decreased with the increasing of the shear rate. This shear thinning characteristic become more significant as the concentration of the HNT particles is increased. The impermanence of the PLA matrix interaction with the HNT clay particles, which is the presence of the clay particles, does not alter the basic flow and also the relaxation process of the polymer matrix. And the fifth one is the conclusion. As to be concluded that PLA HNT nanocomposite with various HNT level were prepared by using the melt mixing. The morphology of the PLA HNT nanocomposite was shown by using the TEM image. By characterize, show the HNT were well dispersed in the PLA matrix at the lower loading levels. Furthermore, the mechanical and thermal properties obtained from the UTM, which is the Universal Testing and TGA test, reveal only small changes with change in HNT loading. A decrease in tensile strength was observed for HNT content exceeding 4.5 weight percentage. The rheological properties of the PLA HNT nanocomposite, such as shear viscosity, storage modulus, and loss modulus, were characterized using both steady shear and oscillatory shear measurement. The data show that increase in HNT level will enhance the rheological properties of the composite. So here is the reference. I think that's all from me. Thank you.